Hello, I'm Jeff Lucas, and during this season of remembrance, I'd like us to reflect on the life of one man who daily risked his life in the hellish trenches of the First World War. His name was Jeffrey Anketell Studdert Kennedy. He was a voluntary chaplain, the first chaplain to set up his vicarage in the horrendous danger zone of the frontline trenches. He had a rather unusual missional strategy. A satchel full of New Testaments and then an almost endless supply of Woodbine cigarettes. I think the Reverend Kennedy thought that if he could offer men the latter, perhaps they'd be interested in the former. He was to become chaplain to the king, but to the thousands of men in the trenches, he was known simply as Woodbine Willie.
A vicar here?
Yes. But don't expect any garden parties or jumble sales any time soon. I'm the Reverend Jeffrey Anketell Studdert Kennedy. You can call me Willie for short.
Well, thank God for that.
I hope you will.
What the hell are you doing out here, Padre?
Not too different from my church back home, to be honest. Keep your head down, hard seats, and pray a lot, just like home. I'll tell you two lads the same thing I tell every new recruit. This vicarage is open to you any time you want, morning, noon, or night, all right? You might not think you want it now, but you will one day, I can guarantee it. Some days, I have a queue all down that trench and right round the corner. It's the same back home in Worcester. Well, not the trenches, of course. But a steady flow through the vicarage front door. Sad, lonely, anxious, suicidals. Drug takers, drunks. That's just the bishop. I'm joking.
They must miss you. Surprised they let you go.
A parish is a parish, wherever you end up, lad. I was a curate in Rugby, a vicar in Worcester, now a padre in Belgium. Always had the same philosophy. Go out onto the highways and the byways. Compel the men to come in. If they don't come in, well, that's all right. Stick out there on the byways with them. You want it in a nutshell, that's why I'm here.
Look, hold the sermon for now, Vicar. I need a fag and a toilet.
A fag? I can always help you with.
Thank you.
Come to me any time you want. I've got plenty. Eh?
Cheers.
A toilet's a bit tricky. You'll find a bucket round the back. If it's not overflowing, it's all yours. Good luck.
Cheers. Oh, Johnny Dixon, by the way. Shake your hand now rather than later. Might be pleasanter all round.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Good to meet you, Johnny Dixon.
Cheers. George Barlow.
Good to meet you, George Barlow. Where you from?
Oh, just outside King's Lynn.
Yeah.
I've never been further than Norwich before this lot.
Is that right? Well, you're not in Norwich now.
No. Where did you say you were from again?
Worcester. So we'll be all right for mustard and sauce, eh? Eh? Never mind. You want a cup of tea, lad?
Oh, please.
Yeah. I hope you take it black.
How come?
There's no milk. There's a war on, you know. There's no sugar either, but there we are. Good luck.
Thanks.
Hey, are you handy with a shovel?
Oh, you need to go as well, do you, sir?
No. Sit down. No. It's new instructions from headquarters. You've seen the ridge over there, I take it?
Yeah.
Well, the Air Corps, they tried to go over it, and some of the lads tried to go through it. And now you, and the Aussies, who have just arrived, you're going down under, as they say. Dig a tunnel under the ridge, lay some explosives, and then run like hell out of there as quick as you can.
This looks like hell already.
No, lad, this can't be hell. We've got tea for a start, eh? There's no tea in hell, not even without milk. Oh, yeah.
If you say so.
I do say so. When did you sign up?
Oh, about 6 months ago. I told my family I'd be home by Christmas. It's the Germans who deserve hell, Padre, not us lot.
You know something? I believe God's on our side, lad, I do really. But I also believe no one deserves hell. And I wouldn't make any early plans for Christmas if I was you. Those tunnels will take months to dig out. Hey, I've got something. How about a dry biscuit to go with your tea? Huh?
Thanks, sir. More tea, Vicar?
Very good. Now then, tell me something. You got anyone waiting for you in just outside King's Lynn, lad?
Thanks. Yeah, a mother who can't close her eyes at night
Ah, yeah.
because of what she imagines. And a girl I've been walking out with almost a year now. Annie Sullivan's her name.
Is that right?
Yeah. She's 23. She smiles a lot. Her dad's a farmer. Older brother James is out here somewhere. I've got a picture. I'll show you if you like.
I'd like that very much indeed.
There she is.
Hey. She's a beauty, all
She's a
right.
beauty, all right,
I
yeah.
see what you mean about the smile. She's lovely, yeah.
Yeah. She reminds me of that song. You must know it. The Sunshine of Your Smile.
Know it? That's my little party piece, lad. I sing it to the boys in the trenches. Just when they think it can't get any worse, I stand up and do a tearful ballad for them. Suddenly the trenches aren't so bad after that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Whenever I think of her, I always picture her walking through a field in summer or down a country lane on a spring morning. It's never winter.
That's a lovely thought to have, lad. It really is.
She stayed smiling even when we said goodbye. She said that's how I should remember her.
Yeah.
I sneaked a look back as I was leaving. She was crying in the arms of her mother. I shouldn't look back. I was in tears myself for over an hour in front of the lads. What sort of first impression's that?
An honest one. And a brave one.
What about you, Padre? Who prays for you? You married?
1914. Quite a significant year for me. My dear father died. I became vicar of St. Paul's in Worcester. Britain declared war on Germany, you remember that? And most significant of all, I married Emily Catlow. The beautiful spring afternoon in Leeds. She became my wife. My partner. My friend. And she prays for me every day. I know that much. She'll pray for you, you know, and young Johnny.
Johnny, yeah.
Yeah. Why not tell her all about you? And she cries. When I'm looking the other way, she cries. And like all of them back home, lads, she sits, she waits, she prays, she cries.
I'm holding here a letter that is very precious to me. It was written back in 1942 from the British Red Cross Society, informing my grandparents that my father, who'd been missing in action for 6 months, nobody knew if he was alive or dead, but this letter told them that he was safe and being held as a prisoner of war. I can only imagine the smiles of joy and the tears of relief that were shared as this letter arrived in the post. In our story, Woodbine Willie meets young George Barlow and they have a heart-to-heart conversation. They talk about smiles and George shares about Annie, his girlfriend back home, her radiant smile that lights up his day. And then Willie talks about his party piece, the song that he inflicts upon the hapless troops in the trenches, the sunshine of your smile. But then these two men talk about tears as well, the tears that George tries to hide as he has to leave his family to go off to war. And then Willie reciprocates. He talks about his wife Emily, the tears that she sheds. Willie says she sits, she waits, she prays, she cries. Surely these are poignant words for us as we've been navigating through this horrendous COVID-19 season, the most cataclysmic event for most of us in our entire lifetimes. This season of lockdown, apocalyptic headlines, fears about the economy, about unemployment, exam chaos, children not being able to go to school, and then, of course, sickness and the grief of death in many families. Smiles have perhaps been in shorter supply during recent days. We too, we sit, we wait, we pray, and we cry. And in the midst of all of that, we ask the question, is there a God? And if there is, does he really care? There are some who view God as some kind of distant Wizard of Oz character, sitting slightly to the right of Jupiter with one eyebrow raised in mild interest, but not really caring, not really passionate. But when we look at the Bible, we discover a God who is passionate about you, about me. The prophet Hosea in the Old Testament describes a God whose heart is churned within him. He's pictured as a mother who is moved for her children, as an ecstatic father who runs out delirious with joy because his wayward prodigal son is returning home. God is described as being grieved and angry and pleased. He sings, he claps, he even dances for joy. He's the God who has acted. Emily sits and she waits. But God is not the God who just sits passively and unmoved. As we consider the great sacrifice of previous generations, let's also know the greatest sacrifice in the whole of human history, as God sent his son Jesus to live, to show us the way to live, and then in a way that's difficult to fully understand, to go to the cross, to lay down his life for us. God is passionate. He is moved. He has taken action. Today we look back. We are grateful. We are celebrating the greatest sacrifice and the greatest victory in history. The victory of Jesus. God cares.